Hey there, Bloomers and friends. Rev Kev coming to you from the Bloom office. Did you recognize me? More on that a little later. I feel a little somber today. I had to think about that, about what to say. It is sad, and those of you who receive Bloom notes, of course, have, because I was just checking who did I send that to, have received notice of our sadness that last night, a little bit before midnight, Daryl James passed away. Now, Daryl was 93 years old and a man of many, many accomplishments, many friends, many experiences, and lots of benevolence. And so we're very grateful for the life that he lived and for being a part of Bloom's life for several years, where he was member number 168 in the book of consecutive member sheets, and it was, fun to look at that. I got out a little bio that had been written about him for a particular article, and remembered that he had served in both World War II, in the Navy in World War II, and in the Korean conflict. He re-upped. He was in the reserves and re-upped for the Korean conflict. He was a pioneer in the warm sands hospitality area here in Palm Springs. Was one of the first owners of a resort that would welcome the gay community. And, that was in a time when people didn't have places that they could go and feel at home, so to speak, feel that they could be themselves. And Daryl led the way. Some people call him the grandfather of warm sands in Palm Springs. Daryl worked in the advertising magazine industry, and he also was an advocate, very active in the AMVETS chapter, and having helped co-found the chapter here in Palm Springs of AMVETS. And it was named after a high school friend of his who was killed by a Japanese sniper in World War II, and he always felt sad about that. And so that chapter of AMVETS was named after him, after the friend of Daryl's from high school. Daryl was, our guy in the golf cart and our first appearance in the Veterans Day Parade, and he got a lot of, was lauded in that. And I'm really grateful that he got to have that experience. It just so happens that Daryl and Mike Shear, my husband, as you know, share the same birth date and were the exact same job in the Navy. It's just hysterical when you meet somebody like that. Daryl was shipboard, Mike never was. He worked in various installations and embassies and things like that. But they both were something like cryptological technicians or something like that. So it is just, he's so sweet. Always there for Bible Bites on Wednesday night, always there for church on Sunday morning. And in the Bible, as I said in the announcement, he just loved the poetic language of the King James Version. And so I did include Psalm 121 in the King James Version in the announcement that I sent out, and that's why I did that. So we're a little melancholy about this. I don't know any arrangements or anything like that. We had never discussed that, and so I don't know what his family will want to do, or what Bloom folks will want to do. But I'm open to doing whatever it is we decide we want to do, whatever that may be the case. So we have Bible Bites. I'm videoing this with Russ on Wednesday, and there's Bible Bites tonight, and that's going to be kind of sad. And we go on. Now, the thing about it in our Christian faith is that while this is loss, it is not, it is not really a bad thing, in the sense that we do believe that we step into eternity and that we step into God's loving embrace. However that works for us, we go to heaven however we envision that. And I am certain that Daryl, who had some real pointed questions in Bible Bites, is getting some answers. And I'm certain that no doubt about it is he's reuniting with his buddies, and maybe, uniting in spirit in some way with his friend who was killed in World War II. That is a poignant thing that makes me feel some happiness in the midst of this melancholy and sadness. That's something for us all to think about and appreciate Daryl James. This Saturday night is in Palm Springs. Bloom is one of the sponsors of the George Zander Candlelight March and Vigil against bullying and violence. I think I've mentioned this before. George Zander and his husband were attacked as they left the Arenas Street area one night a few years ago, and George died. Don't know if it's directly from those injuries, but he died about 6 weeks later. And so this is a way in which our community comes together to honor him, as well as to raise awareness about bullying that still goes on and is happening, a lot in these days, and anti-violence toward the LGBT community. So that's this Saturday night, and meet at 6 p.m. at Grand Central downtown in Palm Springs. I'm not able to be there due to a previous commitment. Mike and I are not able to be there, but we hope that there will be Bloom folks that are showing up and being a part of this very special night of importance and standing for justice in Palm Springs as a part of our quest for knowing and agitating for God's peace and justice in our communities as well as around the world. So we hope you'll be with us this Sunday at Bloom. We're looking forward to that time of worship together. I will be preaching. I'm very grateful for the period of time I've had to be able to work on my dissertation as well as be in the office a little bit. I'm going to have to do another week of that sometime soon, as I have some big deadlines coming up on November 22nd and December 10th. And then we'll be going into the new year with a whole different approach to schooling as my document comes under review, and we'll see what that produces for what I have to do next year. But we got to get her done in order to be able to graduate next May. I hope to see you on Sunday. If you can't be with us in body, please be with us in spirit. And you can always be with us on Facebook Live at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, or you can check out the videos that come out next week along with Bloom Notes. Until then, we'll see you later. Take care.